Hello, I'm Max, and today I'm going to show you a demonstration of Control4i, and by that explain how it's the solution to get full supervision over your IBMI. Let's get started. In your company, you probably already have a monitoring tool to supervise all your servers. It can be one of the lists you see on this page or another. Control4i works with almost every monitoring solution. In this demo, I'll show you the process done between my IBMI demo partition and Centreon, a fork of Nagios, but keep in mind that it works with your solution. So, at the time, there's only a few tools who can help you to monitor your IBMI, and most of the time it can only supervise some part of it. Now, with the basic commands provided in Control4i, you can monitor your partition and everything running on it. And if our large panel of control does not fully meet your needs, you can easily add your own control and adapt your existing controls. Finally, with Control4i, you can respond automatically to specific messages. We will see all this and more together during the demonstration. Another great thing with Control4i is that it's a real product, with scheduled versions, easy to install and performant. And with the monitoring product come our expertise and our support for you to get started and improve on your supervision. So, how does it work? Here on the right, you can see your monitoring solution. On it, you only need to install one and only one plugin, the Control4i plugin, that we develop and support. And for this plugin to communicate with your partition, we also provide the Control4i agent that need to be running for each partition you want to monitor. This allows your monitoring tool to push check through our plugin. Then, the plugin sends the IBMI command to the agent, who answers with the information you need. The commands used with Control4i plugin in your monitoring tool are IBMI commands. It uses the same structure as the command you already use on your partition, so it's easy for you to get started with, to do test, and just copy and paste the final command to your monitoring solution. And if you already have programs who do specific checks on your partition, you can easily adapt it to Control4i. Control4i is the monitoring product for IBMI developed by IBMI specialists. Time for the demo. So this is the Centreon screen. This is the page where we can see every check running for our partition, IBMI partition prod. So here on the left we've got the names of the control we are making. Next to it we've got the status of each control. And the third important part of the screen is the message returned by the partition telling us how it's running and what we are controlling specifically. So, I'm going to show you the process to create a new control and test it on your IBMI partition, then add it to your monitoring tool. Here it's going to be Centreon. And after that, we're going to see what happens if the control gets critical. Okay, so just before, I did not mention before, but we have three states here for the status. We've got OK, we get warning, and critical. Critical is when the check is broken. OK means that it's running perfectly, and warning is a non-critical error. Here on my 5250, I've got Control4i set up and running, as we've seen before, and I can use a command to maybe check a subsystem. You certainly have on your IBMI a program with subsystem needs to be running at all time. So for us, for this example, the subsystem name is going to be QBatch. Okay, so we want to make sure that QBatch is running at all time with our new check. So we're going to use a command specific to that, which name is ct for Control4i, for control, check, to check if it's running, and SBS for subsystem. So ct check subsystem, I'll do F4, and here we've got the parameters we need to fill to make the control running. And for the moment, the only parameter we're going to fill is the first one, so we're going to put QBatch here. We're going to do enter first time. You see that there is another parameter, some other parameters that we can fill. We're going to get back to it a bit later. For now, we just want to see if Kubatch is running, so I'll do enter a second time. And here we've got, at the bottom of the screen, the message returned by control4i, meaning that the Kubatch subsystem is in the run state. So that's what we want to see. If I do F9, here, I've got the full command with the parameter and the subsystem we want to check. If I do F9 and enter as many times as I want, I've got the answer instantly. So this full command with the parameter, I'm gonna select it, copy it, and go to my monitoring tool. Now I'm gonna start the process to create a new control. So I'll go in services, service by host. And here I've got the button to create a new one. This is specific to Centreon. Here I'll put a description, so I'll put a description as close as the real control as it can be. So here it's gonna be subsystem Kubatch is running. That's it. Here I'm gonna link it with the host on which I'm gonna do the control. So for us, the host is prod because the partition, the name of the partition we want to control is prod for this monitoring tool. So I'm gonna select prod here. Next to that, we've got the template we're gonna use, donc the Centreon template we're gonna use. Here it's generic active custom. Okay. This part is specific to Centreon. So it's not directly linked with our monitoring solution. The only part specific to control4i that you're going to find for each monitoring tool is the next one. So it's the plugin that we're going to use to make the checks. So here, if I go in check command, you can see there is every plugin available for my Centreon, for the Centreon of our company. And if I type control, here you can see there is only one control4i plugin. So now you can understand that with this only one plugin, we're gonna do every check we want with control4i. The only value awaited here is the command we copied before from our 5250, and we're gonna paste it here. So I put it here. You can see here in the argument description, it awaits an IBM command. So that's it. I've put the check I want to do. I've put the minimum information required to make the control work for Centreon. That's it. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to push it into production. So to do that, I go in pillars. Here, I select my configuration and I push it. That's it. There is no error. You can see it here. And if I go back to services, right here, and I show every control, you can see now we've got subsystem Kubatch is running. So for the moment, the status for this control is pending because the control hasn't been made. If we refresh the page by doing F5, you can see now that it is in OK state. And we've got here the same message we've seen before on the 5250 while trying the command that Kubatch subsystem is in the run state. So that's exactly what we want to see. So now, what happens if Kubatch is stopped or have a problem? So I'll go back to my 5250. Right here, if I do work subsystem and I'll do enter, here you can see that Kubatch is present, it's running. So I'm gonna shut it down. And if I refresh, now Kubatch is stopped. So I'll go back immediately to my Centreon. And what's gonna happen? Right now, my Centreon, my monitoring tool, do checks every 5 minutes. So we don't want to wait right now. I'm gonna force a check, but it's the same thing as if Centrion made it himself. So here I force the check. The state hasn't been changed for the moment. It needs a few seconds to get the new info. So if I do F5, here, now you can see the new state, so it's in Creole state, and there is a new message returned right here. It's telling me that the subsystem is inactive while it should be. So that's exactly what we want to see. If Kubatch has stopped by himself or anything has stopped him, I can see it right now in my Centrion, in my monitoring tool. That's it. So now we're going to go back in our 5250. We're going to start Kubatch back. Nice. Okay. So on your production, you may have subsystems that needs to be running at all time, but you also may have jobs in these subsystems that are running and that needs to be running with the subsystem. So if I do work active job, here you can see that there are our products, our M81 products, and here the first one, it's the subsystem and the two jobs needed for our program Recover for I to work. So before we've seen that we can check if the subsystem is running. Now I need to see if the subsystem is running and if these two jobs are running in it. So I'm going to copy them, get back here and get back to the command ct check subsystem. Do F4. The subsystem I want to check is bk underscore send. I'll do enter first time, and here you can see there are the same parameter as before, and in those parameters I'm gonna see a mandatory job list. So here I'm gonna put the two jobs mandatory for my software to work. So here I paste what I've copied before. I'll do enter for the last time, and I have this message returning that everything is running fine. So the subsystem is running, and the two jobs I put in the control are running too. What happens if one of the job isn't running? So if I do work active job again, here you can see there is only bkauto and bksend running for this subsystem. So if I do F9 to get the command back, here if I change the name of the job and there is maybe only auto, he's gonna the control4i is gonna search for a job named auto, and that is mandatory for my check to be okay. So because right now there is no job named auto, if I do enter, here you can see I got an error message. If I do F1 on this error message, you can see that the subsystem, in this subsystem, for this subsystem, one job is missing, and I've got here the name of the job. That's exactly what we want to do with this control right now. Okay, so to create those control, I can use the control4i menu. So here I'll go in the main menu of control4i. I've got it right here. And this menu is divided in submenus. So there is the first one for the parameters of control4i to make it work. Next to that, we've got here a group of submenus non-specific to certain type of control. Here we've got a submenu specific to high availability commands. And the last one, here we've got a submenu specific to M3 ERP. So before we've used the command ct check SBS. So this command is in the submenu 10. So here, if I go in it, you can see the last one is ct check subsystem. Within that, with ct check subsystem, we can control if a subsystem is active or not. So qbatch. We can control if it is active or not, if there is enough jobs running in it, or if there is the mandatory job list that we want to see running in it. So with one command, we can do many controls, many specific controls. You can also see in this menu, we've got many commands. We've got city check message wait that allow you here to check every job in message wait status. So you can choose to see for every job in every subsystem. You can choose for only specific jobs in the specific subsystem. Here you can see that there are parameters allowing you to do some very specific and precise controls. And we've got severity level to return a warning state or a critical state to your monitoring solution. So here it's to check every job or specific jobs in message wait. You can see here you also have the possibility to check if only a job is running. So this command, if I use it, here F4, you can see that I can check a specific job with a specific name, maybe a specific user or any user, and I can choose if I want the job to be running at the moment I'm doing the control of it, or if I want it stopped at the moment I'll do the control. So, as I said, there is a very precise way to make control, and you have the possibility to vary what you want to do with one command. This submenu is related to every command related to jobs. So, if I go back here, you can see that there is a submenu related to backups. So if I go in it here, you can see that there is specific commands for BRMS. We've got a command made for saves made without BRMS. Here in the next menu, we've got system control commands. So it's the same thing. Right here in the submenu, we can see the CPU usage. We can get the disk occupation and the disk evolution, maybe. Here, if I type 2, I've got an ASP number on which I'm going to do the control, a critical limit in percent of occupation. So if I'll go above this limit, I'm going to get first a warning limit, then a critical limit. Here we've got an evolution rate. For the first value, it's going to be in warning state in your monitoring tool. For the second one, it's going to be in critical state. And we've got here the period on which the evolution is going to be controlled. So if we got maybe more than, here we can put more than 3% of evolution in 24 hours, we're going to get a warning state. And if there is more than 5% of disk occupation in 24 hours or less, we're going to get a critical state. And that's only one command. So that was check disk. We also have the possibility to check status of users, to check if there is a hardware problem on your machine. So there's a lot to do with the included command with control for I. Last in this group of submenus, we've got the system control command related to messages and libraries. So we're going to go to that a little bit later. First, we're going to talk rapidly about those two menus. So the first one is the menu related to high availability command. You can see that we are compatible with QuickEDD right here, with Memex, and with Itera. Next to that, we've got here two submenus for M3 ERP, as I said before. So why am I going into that quite fast? It's because these are specific commands made for specific softwares that you may or may not be using. And why is it here? It's here because our clients needed it. We put it into the program for every client that may be using one of these solutions. So by that, what do I mean? I mean that the product is an evolutive product. We support it, we create new controls for it with your support and with our research. The goal here is to get our program to be as full as possible, and it's already pretty capable. If you need to create new controls that are not already existing for Control4i, there is two ways to do it. The first way is to ask us if there is something to do the control that you may not have seen, that you may not know right now with our product. And if it does not exist, we've got the possibility to create ourselves the control. If we think it's going to be useful for many people, we're going to implement it in our software. So it's a possibility, and we're going to support it for you and for every user using Control4i. The second solution is to create it yourself. So for that, there is tools coming with Control4i allowing you to create your specific checks, allowing you to adapt existing checks, as I said before. And if you want more information about that, I invite you to contact us and maybe see our documentation. So now there is the last menu we haven't talked about. It's the menu for subsystem control related to messages and libraries. So I'll go in it here. You can see it's split in two parts. There is one part specific to libraries and one part specific to messages. Until now, every command we tested before and we've seen before can be used as a full command directly into Centrion. You just have to add parameters, test it maybe, and put it into Centrion to make them work. Now, what I'm going to show you, it's a part where you have to create new definitions for the commands to work. So, for example, for these commands here in check libraries, first, we've got to add the libraries for which we want to know the size and know the evolution of the size of the library. So if I go into option 21, you can see that there is 5 libraries that we've added, and we only get the information for the libraries we added before. So here you can see there is the name of the library we added, there is a warning limit for each library and a critical limit. Now, I can use those commands right here, type them or copy them. So here I'm gonna copy it, paste it. And if I do F4, you can see that there are the libraries I've added into my product. So if I type ctl4i and I do enter, here I've got the answer telling me that it's in OK state. And I can do the same thing for the evaluation of the size of the library. And if I do F9, you can see that this is the command I'm going to use into Centrion to check this library size. For those commands, I also have the possibility to see them in interactive mode. So if I type 24, I do enter, you can see right here for each library I added, I've got the library size right here and the evolution rate right here and some more information. So I don't need to go into Centrion to get it. I can get it right here in interactive mode. Now that we've done the library part here, we're going to do the messages part. So, as I said before, you've got the possibility to use this specific model to manage almost every kind of messages emerging from your partition. For that, we make group definition here in option 1 for specific themes or type of message, for system messages, specific softwares, backup program, etc. After defining the group definition, you can now create automatic answers to specific messages. So, for example, if I take here sales app and I do option 12 here, those definition answer specific problems as record not added, right here. That means that the record file is full and it sends back an answer automatically. And as many times as the message will appear, Control4i will now answer it automatically. To make new group definitions, and so intersect messages, Control4i is able to analyze QC Super message queue, logs from DSP log, but also can check all kinds of message queue, job log of an active job, and BRMS messages. Here, if I do F6, I've got the screen to create a definition group. For each definition, you need to create the trigger that will define when Control4i is going to answer automatically. It can be any, some, or all the parameters you see on this screen. Then, after creating the definition, we're going to take back SysApp as an example. Here, if I do 12, so 4 types of messages are being answered. And after having created those triggers, we can add some action, some automatic action. Here you can see on this screen there are 2 automatic actions for the first message. If I do 12 again, here there is an example of what is gonna happen for this definition. And if we display what's going on in the first action, here with 5, you can see that it's programmed to do an answer, and the text of this answer is 1. That's some type of answer you can do with Control4i. Here, for this definition, you can see there is 2 actions. The first action is here to add an increment, to add the number 1 and 1 increment. And the second one is used to send a specific break message to an operator. And so now, what are the prerequisites to get Control4i working with your production? First, of course, you need to have an IBM. We support version 7 Air 1 and above for your IBM. Control4i is compatible with many monitoring solutions. He's compatible with almost every fork of Nagios and Nagios that you can see here. It's compatible with proprietary solution like PRTG, with SaaS solution. And if you can see right now your monitoring tool in this list, just know that every mockup we made until now worked, so we can do one with you and then adapt Control4i to your monitoring solution.
Hello! Thanks a lot, Max, for this wonderful presentation. I am Bruno, the Sales and Partners Manager for M81, and I will give you some sales informations. You want to buy the product, you have 2 modes, the license mode plus maintenance, and of course, maintenance includes hotline supports and new versions, release and batches provided. If you prefer to rent the product, you can choose the subscription mode. Then you just have to rent every month or every year our product. If the demo is good for you, that's all. You can start to test our product on your machine during 1 month for free. If you prefer, don't hesitate to ask us one more demo or workshops or things like that. Of course, we also are able to provide you implementation services, installation, training of your team, validating of the tool, and validating of the use of our IBM command to adapt to your specific needs. We have many customers, more than 70 end-user customers. Thanks a lot to our partners, because you remember that we sell only through our partners, resellers or MSP. The total of partitions running with Control4i, it's more than 200 in nearly 15 countries with nearly 50 partners. This table just to highlight one of the best strengths or benefit of our product from my point of view. Believe me, 90% of our customers are using our plug-and-play product only using IBM commands. That means that they are able to cover 100% of their monitoring needs without writing any line of code. It is really important to understand this. Conclusion. You understand that you can boost your solution. You can manage everything on IBM itself, but also what runs on IBM. You can answer automatically to many messages. Nearly all monitoring solutions are managed with Control4i. If you don't have any monitoring solution, don't hesitate to ask us to give you some advice. A full product, that means documentation, that means versions, that means support. It's not a tool, it's a product. It's very easy to install. Remember, we are talking about some minutes to install it. Easy to use, you understood it, and easy to add new controls. Performance is here, and the number of partitions running is huge. The presentation of Control4i is finished. Let me add 3 informations more. M81 is a software development firm. We developed 3 system solutions on IBM i. Control4i, you have seen it. Flash4i, it is a snapshot to clone your IBM partition production in some seconds. If you are able to clone your production and to do a backup on your clone partition, why not doing a Save21 backup every day? Think about it. If you can refresh your test environment instantly, why not doing this refresh every week or every 2 days? Why not doing 24, that means every hour, a recovery copy on your disk? Think about it. The third product is Recover4i. It is an incremental hot backup of your DB2 database. Why not every 10 minutes? That means that if you have a crash, even if you don't have any HA solution, you will be able to find back your data 10 minutes before the crash. And you can also use the product in case of data corruption. Here are some informations of contact. Don't hesitate to go on our website, m81.eu, or to go on M81 webpage on the TechU site for this virtual event. Last thing, M81, it is the name of a beautiful spiral galaxy, very far from Earth, but we hope that very soon you will join us in the M81 galaxy. Thank you for your attention. Have a good end of day, and bye-bye.